the Mike Douglas Show. This is Mel Torme. I'm Mike's co-host, and with us on today's show will be Buddy Rich, Commander Lloyd Bucher of the USS Pueblo, Linda Bennett, a Taekwondo demonstration, Joe Harnell in the band, and now here's Mike.
Nights are gone since you went away.
Here he is, Mr. Charm, Buddy Rich.
God. Oh, you may sit.
Thank you.
That's
What the whole show's going to be tonight.
right. That's got to be the saddest, dumbest story I ever heard about your romance with your old lady.
It is, huh? That's because you don't get along with your old lady.
Who wants to?
But that, now, it's a guy who talks like this is probably very sentimental.
I
very
am the
lovely to
most.
his
I
wife.
love my wife.
Is your wife?
You are joking, aren't you? You sentimental.
Hey, Pancho
How many-
Villa.
I saw this man who's known. Now, you have the reputation, buddy, of kind of having an acid tongue. Seriously. I'm not
Really?
kidding. And
Where'd you
we-
hear that?
Now, we had the sweetest little lady on this show one day, and I brought her on purposely knowing he was going to be on, who planted, Gladys, what's her name, that plants the bulbs?
Gladys Plant.
She's about 83 years old, the sweetest little lady, and she handed Buddy a bulb, a gladiola bulb. Mel, you had to see this, too. Blanche Phelps.
Blancheville.
Blanche
From here, and she said her theory is that you must talk to plants and keep them happy. And she talks to the bulb and plant. She said, "Darling little," and she handed him a gladiola bulb, and she said, "Now you must talk to it." And he said, "Plant you now, dig you later." And this little lady's still home trying to figure out what that means. But it has to be one of the classic moments of all my time on television. Now,
I don't think it's that
Dallas
funny.
man here.
I know. I've been listening to the first 15 minutes. What is with these guys that you picked? These five.
Well, what do you expect me to pick you? Is that the idea?
No.
Who would you
I've
pick?
already picked me.
He's
Who would
not
you-
kidding.
Who would you
by the
have
way.
picked? The five, your five most.
Mussolini, Hitler,
Oh, buddy.
Mickey Mantle, Joe Louis.
Uh-huh.
There's a great
Sports
man.
fan.
Right. I'm an athlete.
Who's your favorite drummer? Me.
You. But of course I have no ear.
Right. What's happened there? What's happened?
Please.
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 Don't touch
I'm
her.
sorry.
Buddy, how do you...
What?
I've talked about this many times.
You must speak up.
But I find it... Well, I'm waiting for somebody to take a breath.
Oh, okay.
Have you two ever worked together, you and Mel?
Mel and I have worked together for years. About 1948, wasn't it?
That's
At
right.
the New York Paramount Theater. Mel Torme, the Step Brothers, Henny Youngman, and my band.
That's a
And
great
you
show.
want to talk about a nutty show? It was the most hysterical
It
4
was,
weeks
wow.
I have ever lived through. And Mel had written some music for the band, and he wrote a special piece of material for us where I sang some things and he played some drums. And of course my singing was great, but his playing was like, he can't play drums.
How would you describe this man professionally?
Sick.
You know who was here?
Who?
Artie Shaw, and he
Oh.
didn't he give
Oh.
you your first job?
Artie Shaw is a complete idiot. There's,
He said here about
nice
this, bud.
things about you.
he
He's
couldn't possibly have said anything nice about me because
but-
I can't stand him and he can't stand me.
reading.
I hate a pseudo-intellect. You know, if you're really intellectual, you don't have to go around telling everybody about it. It'll come out automatically. But he works on it. I did a radio show with him with Barry Gray about a year ago.
Yes.
And he went through this whole thing about he reads 7, 8 books a day. You know, now you can understand it if each book has a page and a half, right?
And a lot of pictures.
Yeah, and a lot of pictures. You know. But you don't read 7 books a day, even if you can read, right? And Artie has this. Well,
You're
wanna kiss?
charming. You're charming.
well,
You know, we've
how
got to
I-
give Artie equal time.
Oh well, please do, and have
It's a
me with
must.
him,
And have you here. I
Oh,
want to have
definitely.
you here.
because I would say the same thing to him.
Would you really, Buddy?
It'll be Dempsey and Tunney all over again. I promise you.
Yeah, but well, I get the long count, right?
Right.
He get the wrong count.
The wrong.
No, I
And
think.
what happened on that show with you and he?
Now I'll tell you something. Artie Shaw is a great clarinet player, a great musician. And for him to take the attitude that he has taken in the past few years about what jazz has done and what jazz was as far as he was concerned, and his attitude about the kids who used to come up to him for autographs and he would just brush them off because he had no time for them. And he puts all that in the past and says it was never a part of his life. If that was not a part of his life, Artie Shaw wouldn't be on your show or any other show, because that was the beginning of his career. You can't say that that part of your life is over, you know, because he was too great. He made too many improvements in music for him to look back at it and say nothing had ever happened to him. I resent that in him. If you want to start a new career, that's fine. But give credit to the things that happened to put you in a position to start a new career.
I didn't know you were outspoken, buddy.
Well, I'm not, but I feel at home with you.
You're beautiful. I take it he's not one of your 5 most admired people.
No, he's not.
Who would be? In all seriousness, who would be? Just off the top.
I like...
I know you like Frank Sinatra a lot.
Frank Sinatra, with all due respect to Mel, and I consider Mel one of the truly great talents of all time. Not a great singer, but his great writing, a very prolific mind. You know, it's always creating things. Really, you know, you're a great artist, Mel, and I don't really mean that you're great.
I somehow knew that you were being set up. You mean that?
No, Mel is great, and Sinatra to me is the epitome of what every man should be in show business. You know, he's a great artist. He's a great singer, and you'll admit that.
No doubt about it.
You know, the greatest singer of all time.
No, I won't admit that.
I don't know.
No, you won't admit it because you don't know. I know.
Is he a good man?
Frank Sinatra is probably one of the warmest, nicest, most human individuals that I've ever met. And you always read things about Frank that are not very complimentary and not always the things that you want to read about a man. But the things that he does without the press knowing about it.
Yeah,
He's the single highest contributor to the Israeli fund.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that?
No, I did not
Yes.
know that.
Well, of course you didn't know that because that doesn't make good reading, you know. The press would probably rather say something detrimental about his career, right? But he takes tours every year or two. He'll take 7 or 8 of the best musicians in Los Angeles, and maybe.
Do you ever go along, buddy?
No, 7 or 8 of the great musicians, and. Come on, let's hear it for me, folks.
Wait, he said no. You said best, and I asked you if you ever went along.
Right. No,
Then you changed it quickly.
I said it right.
Okay.
But he goes over and he I remember a couple of years ago he took about 9 people, chartered an airplane, went over to London, and then went to Hong Kong and Japan for the orphanages, the various orphanages. And he paid the transportation for the entire camera crew, plus the musicians, plus the entertainers. He gave every musician a set price plus their expenses while they were away for their hotels and for their food. And nobody ever knew about it. And he just went over and he did this out of the goodness of his heart. Now, you know, you've got to be some kind of a beautiful man to do that.
I just wanted to ask you, and we're running a little short of time, but you worked with him in the very beginning.
Right. We were together.
What kind of a guy was he then, as a kid?
A very arrogant guy. And Frank and I did not get along in the very beginning.
I knew that. That's why I
as a
asked
matter of
you
fact, well, I shouldn't say in the very beginning. When Frank first joined the Dorsey Band in 1940, we were roommates. We roomed together for the first year. And after his initial success with a thing called I'll Never Smile Again, his attitude had changed, and he started looking for different things in his life. His whole attitude about things he wanted in life had started to change. And then we started to beef together because I used to feel that in the beginning he treated musicians as though they were kind of a second-class citizen. And I used to have fun with him. He'd sing a ballad, and I used to play with sticks. So, you know,
I saw
playing on
him.
the cymbals so you couldn't hear the lyrics.
This is the truth.
But you two guys came to blows a couple of times.
One
yeah.
time, yeah,
One time.
uh-huh,
Yeah.
one time, and
Right.
it didn't
At the
last
Astor,
very long.
right?
At the Astor Hotel.
Right.
But that, you know, we were both very, very young, and it really didn't amount to very much.
Who
It was,
won?
I did, and
That's not the story.
He did.
no,
No, he
that's
did.
the truth.
He did.
What happened, and I think this will be the first time ever that it's ever been talked about on the air. We had difficulties at the hotel. Frank threw a pitcher of water at me, one of those great big glass pitchers, about that big, and very heavy, very thick.
Did he
And
hit you?
no, he missed me. I had ducked. Somebody yelled when he threw it. We were at the Astor Hotel, at the Astor roof.
Was it
We were-
while you were on stage?
No, we had just come off the
I
set.
see.
And we'd had a beef on the stage. And he threw this pitcher at me, and I ducked, and I came up and I hit him, and the fight was broken up immediately. But a couple of days later, I was coming, you know how I like horn and hard out beans, right?
Yes, he loves beans.
I'm a bean freak. And, right?
Among other things.
Right. You've already had your segment.
Right. Yeah, but you were through most of it.
Right. I had to help you.
Right, as usual.
I was coming out of the Automat in New York, and I was walking back to the hotel. In those days, we used to play from 7 to 9 for dinner, and then come back at 10 o'clock and play from 10 to 2 for dancing. And I was coming back to play the 10 o'clock set, and a guy tapped me on the shoulder as I was walking back towards the Astor Hotel. And he said, "Hey, Buddy Rich," like that. And very stupidly, I turned around, and a fist came at me and caught me right between the eyes. I fell down. The cat got on top of me and pinned my arms down to my side like that. He just pummeled my face for about a minute, just beat the hell out of me, just really knocked me crazy, and ran towards 8th Avenue. And they took me back to the hotel, and I got stitched up and everything. But the story was always that Frank had done it to me, but it was a guy from Hoboken.
I want to have you.
Yeah, I know.
I want
told me that
you and
earlier.
Artie Shaw here. I really do someday together. But right now, will you play drums for us?
No, I don't think so.
I'll play.
Okay, Joe Harnell and his orchestra.
Girls and have Masha Roll, man. That's it. Yeah, I love it.
I don't know how many of you people can identify with this, but in the days of the big bands, the epitome was a place called Frank Daly's Meadowbrook, right?
Right.
And Buddy is opening it tonight. And tomorrow night, I'll be there tonight.
And he's
tomorrow.
sold out, by the
And
way, in
it's
case
sold out.
anybody is interested.
And I
He's
hope
sold out.
that's the sign of something good to
I
come.
certainly hope so, because they're trying to start a new policy, Mike. They haven't been using big bands in there for about 20 years. And we got a call about a month ago to find out if we were available to start with the big band policy again. So I hope it succeeds.
Oh, that's great.
That's marvelous. Mel, this week is sailed by, but I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
So have I.
I really have.
Fifth time for me.
Yes, he's
Fifth
been co-host 5 times.
He'll keep coming back till he does it right.
Linda, you're going to be doing some opera. Wouldn't it be wonderful to be able to just get applause and then just go and stop it like
Cold.
That happens to me every time I play a solo. They start and they stop.
Right.
And every time you play a solo?
They're not sure. They're
It's
not
like the same reaction he gets when he sings.
Oh, he sings great.
Oh, he's a
He does.
great
You know you
singer.
love the way he
Mel's
sings.
marvelous.
I'm his only true fan. I have been for 25 years. Is that right, Mel?
That's true. And I'm his true fan. He knows that.
God, you guys
We've
gotta
had our
get
ups and
married.
downs.
Yes, we have.
You want us to turn the lights down, guys?
Right.
You have
up
to
the
ask her
furniture.
first.
I'll dance if I can lead.
You can leave. he is cute, isn't he? In kind of a sick way.
Where are you going from here, Melvin?
I'm going to be doing promotion on the book throughout in New York and Chicago, and I open at the Century Plaza in at the West Side Room, the Century Plaza. Try to stay awake, bud. You get a draw. On the 1st of September, and as a matter of fact, when this is seen certain places, I will have already opened, and then something rather phenomenal is going to be happening. I wish I could talk about it, but I can't. I told you about
You're
it.
going to do that to
No, I
us,
can't.
Melvin?
Go ahead,
No,
Mel.
I told you about it. and I
Yes,
told
you told me
go
about it.
ahead,
I'm
Mel.
going to
No,
tell.
don't, please.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to say
No,
it.
you're not. Irish, he's going to...
Come on, Mel.
Come on.
What I'm going to do is put a band together and play drums again.
Come on. Melvin, excuse us.
Oh, I want to know, too.
I want you to keep an eye on the monitor, and you folks keep an eye on the monitor. See some of the things that have happened this week. To Mel Torme, all my thanks for being my co-host.